All right, Helen. It's been a while since we've seen you, but you're at the Beat the Streets event. Yeah, talk about the event a little bit. You know, USA, Japan, and the atmosphere and everything surrounding women's wrestling this weekend. What do you see?
Woo! Well, as you can see, everyone loves it. It's been a great event tonight. So, Beat the Streets is an organization that provides wrestling for children that need opportunities like this. And so, this event is a benefit to charity. So, it's raising money for that to go help these kids, help them learn wrestling. And so tonight we had Team Japan, which is #1 in the world, and then we had Team USA, and we're #2 in the world, soon to be #1. And so we wrestled tonight in a duel, and it was amazing. So.
What's it mean to you to have an all-women's showcase like this with the two best countries in the world? You know, it's a great exposure for the sport of women's wrestling.
This is above and beyond so amazing to see. I mean, I started wrestling 17 years ago. If you told me that we were going to have 2 all-women's matches wrestling outside for a fundraising event and fill the stands, I mean, I would have been really surprised. And so to see where women's wrestling has come today is just amazing. And it's thanks to so many people that are just helping and supporting and you know, organizations like Beat the Streets. So.
Is this the first Beat the Streets that you haven't wrestled in?
This is the first Beat the Streets I haven't wrestled in.
How does that feel? Like just being able to sit back and enjoy it?
It's bittersweet. So obviously I would have loved to have been out there competing today, but it's sweet because I get to sit back and literally just cheer on teammates, cheer on Team USA, and I can't explain what it feels like to wrestle in an event like this. It's incredible. There's really no experience like it, and so to miss out on it, it's a bummer. But oh gosh.
You were announced that you were going to compete. When did you decide to go for it?
So I tore the UCL in my thumb about a month before Worlds. I re-hurt it at Worlds, and then actually 2 weeks ago, it just got re-injured when I was training. And so I thought I could get away with putting it off after my career, and the doctors at Columbia told me to go in, get an MRI, and they were like, that's it. And actually, when they went to compare it, stress test it with my other thumb, which I thought my other one was jammed, they found out that I actually need surgery on both of my thumbs. So it was like, what, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago that I like kind of started reaching out and telling my coach and, you know, telling Andy Bark, and so we just kind of talked about what other opportunities were there. So I did a meet and greet today. I love doing anything with Beat the Streets.
Well, I mean, you are the face of women's wrestling in the U.S., so you're still doing a lot of work. You're on the clock, as it were, here.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? I mean, Vince won the world system, and you've conquered your goals, but I know you've got to be thinking, I went to the USA to be a top 10.
Yes, exactly. Oh, sorry.
What can we do to do that?
Exactly. So I think things like this help all the time. I mean, we just had an opportunity to wrestle the #1 country in the world, and I think we performed great. And so to have more matches like this and more support and more training with each other, that's really amazing. One of my goals since Worlds just has been to not step back from my training or competing, but right now, for example, since I'm getting surgery, it's been working with Beat the Streets, you know, helping write some programs, helping get out and, you know, speak more to kids and to promote that. And so to just kind of see wrestling not from that athlete perspective where you're just thinking about what you need, but taking a step back and seeing what the whole sport needs and getting to just talk to so many people in United World Wrestling or USA Wrestling. It's, I think women's wrestling is on the right path, and I think we're ready to be #1 in the world.
You took a little time off between
a lot of
Rio
time.
and Paris, and I heard that you'd gone to your coaches and said, hey, I want to take some time off. And they said, okay, that's fine, but you might not win Worlds if that's the case. And you said you were fine with that because you were thinking sort of big picture.
Yeah.
But you did take the time off, you did go up 2 weight classes, and you crushed everyone. So what do you do now to sort of, you know, avoid complacency, like not sit on your laurels? How do you be proactive in like wanting to test yourself?
That's a good question. I don't ever feel complacent. I think wrestling's a big sport. You can't ever conquer it. You can't ever conquer wrestling, and you can't really ever conquer yourself. And so, sport for me is very humbling because it's just a journey of self-discovery. And so there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to work on. So when I chose to step away after Rio, that was with the thought that I need to develop as a person outside of wrestling and what those challenges are going to be like. And even though they're not directly related to wrestling, when I come back, I believe it's going to benefit my wrestling. And so I think I'm just always looking for something new, and I have great coaches, great support, everything, and everyone just helps me to, you know, tackle the sport from a new angle and just have fun and do what I love, and yeah.
Real technique junkie.
I love technique.
And, you know, it's just amazing. Like, it always seems like there's something new that you're doing in a match. It's obviously not new. You're not making stuff up. You're working on technique all the time. How do you do that? And do you feel like your ability to increase your arsenal has just gotten faster? That you're able to do it quicker?
I've been wrestling for 17 years, so I think that's a start. I feel like I'm at this point in my career, confidence-wise and ability-wise, where you know, it doesn't scare me to learn a new move, to try something new out at Worlds, and also I just have a God-given talent. So you know, my coach, he'll teach me something and he'll teach it to me, and I'll do it completely differently. And he's like, I'm not even going to correct that because you just made it your own and it works for you, so just go hit it like that. So I'm like, okay.
Wow,
so
that's giving you a lot of latitude.
yeah, so it's yeah.
So I mean, obviously, you know, you've won 3 golds in a row. You know, last year at the Olympics was special. You had certainly one of the greatest wrestlers ever to walk the earth, you know, in terms of recognition. What did you sort of learn being on the other side of that vision quest of defeating Yoshida that maybe you didn't know before?
You know, I think people paint it as a David and Goliath story, and for me, by the time that I got the opportunity to compete against Yoshida, she really became a woman that I'd looked up to, and so it was really interesting to just get to wrestle this legend in the sport. And I just remember this feeling of thankfulness. Like, she could have retired after 2012. She would have retired a 3-time gold medalist. You know, 10, 12, 13-time world champion. And so I think it just makes you realize that the sport, you show up, you wrestle on that day, you love what you do. You don't give too much weight to the wrong things or always what they mean. And so to get to wrestle Yoshida, that's, to me, I took it as like a blessing in itself. I wanted a gold medal no matter what. I didn't care if Yoshida lost first round and I never wrestled her. I wouldn't have even seen that. I just wanted the gold medal. That's what I trained for. That was my goal when I was 8, before I even knew who Yoshida was. But then to be in the finals and be like, wow, I literally get to wrestle a living legend.
Did the match go the way that you thought it would? I mean, like, you had to have like envisioned that match a number of times beforehand.
Yeah.
But are you a strategic wrestler, or is it just like tactics, whatever happens, the landscape of the match, I'll adapt?
Yes and no. I am strategic, but I will adapt, and I think that's how most wrestlers are. So if you had told me that's how I was gonna win, or those were the moves I was gonna win with, I'm like, I never drilled them. I never, you know, I don't even know what they were. But I just, you know, at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, or if it's going to be crazy, you know, it could have been 13-14, this crazy back, and I had no idea what it was going to be. And just being in the moment, I think you're just thankful for what it is.
I mean, what she said after the match was, you were just flat out stronger than she was.
Yeah.
And like, how much do you like look to your strength coaches for, like, how much of an impact they play?
Yeah.
Nutrition obviously was a big factor in the cut as well. Like, you know, you're very technical, obviously, but you're super strong
Yeah.
for the weight. Like,
Yeah.
how much does that factor into your wrestling? Like, just knowing wrestling?
Oh, it definitely plays a part, especially for a weight class like 53. I was like, I don't know if I'm cutting this. I don't know what I'm gonna wrestle like the day of the day of competition. Like, I don't know how the weight cut's gonna affect me. So I want to be the strongest, the fastest, the best wrestler I can be, and just prepare myself as much as possible. And so training with Charles Poliquin, my strength coach, who's just above and beyond a genius, and you know, he's preparing me, and he would have me do these lifting programs, and a lot of people around me, even people whose opinions I really valued, would say, like, I don't think you should lift. If you're going 53, you shouldn't lift. And it was just like, okay, is it too many cooks in the kitchen? Is this a good thing? Should I do it or not? And just looking back, I'm so thankful that to have Charles and his knowledge, and to have done that lifting program, and to have trusted that process, because I needed it, especially like in the match against North Korea. That was yeah. So
I mean, you know, that's almost as impressive as your finals match. You know, just like how composed you were, and she didn't want to give up those points. It wasn't like one shot you finished.
Yeah.
You know, it was 2, 3, third efforts. And like, what's going through your head during those scrambles?
what's going through I'm not thinking. I wrestle for God. I literally I pray. I just, pray to compete free from fear and to go out there and enjoy myself. And it's just whatever happens, happens. So, I'm in the moment, yes, but I think in those scrambles, like when you really love wrestling, you're just like, oh, I love this. Like, this is fun. Like, I want to find a way to get out on top and score these points. But it's not like, well, they did this, so now I should do this. It's just, I'm just in the moment. And especially with someone like Yoshida, I knew that you weren't going to win by having a good day. Not with Yoshida. I've never seen that in my life, because she doesn't lose. So I think a lot of people have had really great days, and maybe they got to the finals and they go to wrestle her and, they get stopped by her. So for anyone that thinks it was a good day, no, it was a lot of preparation.
I mean, it's one thing to do all of the work to do it in preparation, but how did you sort of condition your belief? Because you believed you were going to win. I mean, does like Vegas play into that? Like, hey, I'm a standing world champion. I won this one class up, so I know I'm good. Like, or like, how do you cultivate belief?
I definitely think Vegas helped. But I remember being on the podium and just kind of like, what does this really mean? I'm at a non-Olympic weight class, and I know it's a big deal for everyone watching and for my parents. They're really happy, but there's like this sinking feeling where I'm like, one more year till the Olympics, and like, yeah, use this, take a bite, enjoy it, but like you still have a battle ahead. And so for me, the biggest thing about belief was really just having God in the process, day in and day out. I mean, it felt like a journey with him, and it felt like there were times where the decisions I made no sense, and it was just in prayer, like, does it make sense to pull out of the Pan Am trial and instead wait a month, make weight for the first time at the US trials when you don't even know if you can make that weight, and then 10 days later fly to Mongolia and do it again? And I just felt like, yeah, you know what, in 2012, I trusted the process and the system, and this is how you should do it, and this is what you should do to win. And and this time I'm like, I'm doing things that don't make sense, but I really trust that God's telling me to go this way, to do it this way. I need a little bit more time to get my weight down, and I'm just going to take this risk. And, everything paid off, and it's crazy because maybe, in another, situation, maybe it wouldn't have paid off. And so it's just, for me, it's just really being in communication with God and just step by step. I didn't know I was going to win the 2017 Worlds. I really thought, I took 7 months off. I came back with a bunch of injuries. I just want to get back to where I was wrestling. And it was crazy because by the time Worlds came around, I felt like, I added a lot of new stuff, and I'm actually wrestling better now than at the Olympics because I'm not cutting so much weight. And
how did you feel strength?
Good. I still feel like I was the strongest. I actually feel like 53 was harder. I mean, the Olympics it's the top people in the world that qualify. So I was wrestling world and Olympic champs, throughout the whole day, and I had extra matches at the Olympics, and so that was just that was a different kind of toughness, strength. So I did feel like the strongest 58 here, which is crazy because I came back and just started working with Charles again, and I told him, hey, I'm going up. Can we make it happen? And he's like, absolutely. So.
I mean, you make a lot when you talk about cooks in the kitchen. There's a lot of attention that's on you, and you're sort of faced with these big decisions. And do you consult, like moving to New York, what weight class you're going to go, taking time off, not taking time off? Are those mostly things you just sort of ruminate with on yourself and tell people about it? Or like how much you're consulting with people and going with their decisions on this stuff? Like you seem like a really thoughtful person.
Yeah.
Like not impulsive and jumping to decisions.
Yeah, I'm not. Walk with the wise and become wise. So I'm like, I'll pull everyone in. I can get your opinion. That doesn't mean I'm going to take it on for myself, but I just want to know, hey, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then I just, see everyone's reasons, and I'll say, okay, like, I trust you, coach. If this is what you say is best for me, I'll do this. Or sometimes, it's like, well, this makes sense, but I'm just feeling this, and so I don't know yet. And one of the cool things about Valentin is he goes, you have to know yourself. He's like, I'm coaching you, but I don't know you as well as you know you. So there's times where, Valentin will say, well, I think you should do this. What do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's like moving away to, or taking so much time off, I was like, I know it's a risk. But I feel like if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it by the time 2020 comes around. I'm like, I just need it. And I can't tell you why it will directly translate to wrestling. I'm just telling you, I feel like God's telling me to step away and to just be Helen and not Helen the wrestler. And now I come back to wrestling, and And I'm like, oh yeah, because I am Helen, and I know who that is now. And so I don't have to just be Helen the wrestler, because I walked away and I was able to figure out who Helen was. And I know it sounds super emotional and maybe more of a process than maybe some of the guys will discuss, but you know, this is who I am, this is how I am, and this is how I treat my wrestling. It's very much a part of me and what I think God's teaching me. And so so I will take in a lot of opinions and just really look outside myself.
What's next for you?
What's next for me?
Do you have a plan?
Surgery.
After that,
I'm actually
do you have a timeline?
For wrestling?
Yeah.
So right now, I'm really excited. I'm working with Beat the Streets on some programs. So we've been writing a wrestling program for physical education classes, and that's just, I've been really passionate about that. I'm working on some other programs, so I feel like God right now is like, hey, you're getting surgery, and you know, this is your time to like maybe reach out and do some other things that you wouldn't be able to do if you were in training. And so I'm really excited for those upcoming things. I'll be announcing them soon. And then first tournament back, I'm missing the World Cup in December from the surgery. Hopefully the India Pro League maybe in January, and definitely World Cup in March. I think there might be a tour before then. So that's about all I have so far.